Welcome back, everybody. It's a nice ass evening. It's cold. I'm in the house. I'm dressed cute. It's another day. Made some content. If you don't follow me on TikTok already, fix that. I'm gonna drive you crazy on there. You know, this week I already knew what the subject matter of this conversation was gonna be. Already knew what the title was. What's in a name? And this came about during a live stream that I was doing on none other than TikTok. I had a very lovely gentleman during our discussion mention that honesty takes courage, and that really warmed my heart. It is a wonderful feeling to have people who don't know you, who have taken the time to consume some of your work, and come back to you knowing about you, It felt really wholesome. I wanted to cry, to be honest. And yeah, so I think we'll start there. Honnête, honesty. And for me, the association came from freedom that I experienced at a young age. I was probably in 4th or 5th grade, and it was just a real moment for me. And from there, that is where I had that association. So for me, it's hard to not be honest. I prefer it that way. I feel like there is truly a liberation in that, because it's not an if and or but. This is what it is. And when taking the intentional road and process of figuring out what my name was going to be, putting out work, I had a list of names, just writing them down, trying to hear how they sound, the meaning of it. There was a lot. HONNÉTEBAS stuck out. And it is not to say that I am just this upstanding human who's so honest and just blah, blah, blah. No, this is the standard where I would like to uphold myself to. And so, still human, but a human who is looking to invest in themselves and in their growth and evolution. And I wanted to take a second and actually double down on the fact that honnête has a silent H. Recently, I ran into a friend who I guess I just didn't know, or I guess we just never went over that with each other, and she came up to me and she was like, "Anote," or "Hanote." She said "Hanote." It sounded like elote to me, and I was dying. I was like, "Oh my God, I love you. This is amazing." Another funny, that was Jenny. I didn't want to blow spots, but actually I'm gonna blow spots. So that was Jenny, and I danced with Jenny, and she's amazing, and we were laughing about that for a good while. And then I had another friend in LA who was like, "HONNÉTEBAS," and I love that. It was very refreshing. So before I was HONNÉTEBAS, I was trendy frenzy, and I think I do talk about it here and there, and I'm pretty sure we spoke about it on the fashion episode, but that was my way of being ironic. What was in that name? Irony, because I was really trying to be the anti-trendy person, but had the trendy name, so that was funny. And then there's my real name, my legal government. It wasn't always my government name because they kind of butchered it when I first moved here, but my name is Bat El. and that's in Hebrew. It means daughter of God, and so I have a very loaded name, which is, in hindsight, a blessing that I don't just still go by that to other people. Because I'm like, don't use my name in vain, you know? My family calls me Bati. I go by Bas. Bas came about, so here we go. Because of Bat El. And yeah, some Ashkenazi Jews pronounce the T's as S's, and so there was Bas El, and in school they call me Basia as a joke because that's like a more firmy name, and Bas came about, and that's the name that I ran with. Other names that I wanted to discuss with you guys today are the project names. So we have, starting with Everything I Should Have Said, which was kicked off by the Everything I Should Have Said fashion show. At the time, the I in that sentence was an actual I, the letter I. And with Clean Version coming about and my spiritual awakening deepening, for better words, the I changed to a EYE, Everything I Should Have Said. And that is intentional, not just for branding, but I think that I was struggling with using my voice, and I knew what I wanted to say, and I would be able to articulate it and write it down, but this was kind of like the kickoff to my liberation. So that was Everything I Should Have Said. Then there's Clean Version, which Clean Version is, its identity is so firm in my brain that sometimes I forget how other people perceive those two words, because those two words are a whole world to me. And to me, I believe that the clean version is the absolute version, the true version, it, right? So when we talk about it in music, when we have these clean versions, we're actually filtering somebody's original work and saying, let's make this a little bit more digestible. Let's change this a little bit. And I'm not with that. And I think that when you just allow things to be as they are, then they can just be, versus trying to squeeze them in a box. And music is one way where we're having to fit radio and whatever else that we need clean versions for, but also in life. Who are we filtering ourselves for? And the mission of Clean Version is to empower people to live in their truth and to be themselves wholeheartedly. No bullshit. Then came about Project 111. And this was probably a good kickoff to my connection to numerology and the power of numbers. Numbers are really big in Judaism as well. But the synchronicities and master numbers and angel numbers, that was pretty prevalent. And when we talk about like situations, right? You have like your perspective, their perspective, and the truth, right? There's a trilogy in that. When you think of, there's actually threes in a lot of things, and that kind of spoke to this like beginning intro. And that was a very short film. It was just a minute. Then there's 1-to-1, 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 which is also a play on that, the three. And then there's blue faces, and blue faces is like, duh, blue faces, money. Actually, it's not duh, because I've had to explain that to a bunch of people. Blue faces is the modern word for $100 bill. And as Boss Franklin, I had to reinvent the blue faces. And that was that. And that's pretty much all I have for what's in a name. I think names are powerful and they're strong. And name your kids wisely. And yeah, we'll keep it simple as a pimple. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and talking about names. Fuck with me on TikTok because I really am there a lot. And if you guys have any questions or topics for a future episode, let me know. Until then, love you guys. Should